Welcome back, everyone. It's Wednesday evening, August 23rd. Today was NVDA Day, so let's jump right in and cover what the action was today. So, NVIDIA reported after hours. I'll start there. Typically, I wouldn't, but it's such a big earnings report, and it's one of the last, it is the last of the Magnificent Seven that's reporting. But it was up big after hours, as high as $520, and then it settled in right around 500. It closed before earnings around 470. So that's quite a big move after earnings. I listened to most of the call after hours. It was just a gangbuster report. It beat expectations. It raised future guidance. The CEO noted that the total addressable market of just the data centers that are upgrading right now is roughly about a $1 trillion TAM, total addressable market. And a lot of the clients or the folks that are needing to upgrade those data centers are doing this with two major drivers. One being simply to upgrade the old technology and to keep up and refresh it and future proof it. But while they're doing that, they're also upgrading to the regenerative AI capabilities that the NVIDIA chipsets, hardware and software, allows those data centers to have. So very bullish earnings release. Let's see tomorrow how it opens and if this was already baked into the cake or not. I think when you look at the price action all day, it seemed like if you go on social media, it seemed like everybody was just waiting and anticipating the NVIDIA earnings release. But one thing that not many people that I saw, even in mainstream news, have been talking about today is the subject of what I talked about yesterday on the podcast, that there are two opposing forces both going up at the same time, which is not typical. Those being yields and risk assets. So for a few sessions now, we've seen that, and I noted that this can't go on forever. One of them is lying, and one of them is going to go the other way. Today, that was the 10-year yield and just interest rates in general. The 10-year yield right now settled in below 4.2. So it fell basically from a high of 4.35 all the way down to 4.19. It doesn't sound like much, I know, when you're looking at just like a 0.20% decrease in the treasury yield. But that small move makes a huge difference in debt carrying costs and the cost to borrow new money. So that is actually a fairly large move in the 10-year in one session. So yes, NVIDIA beat. NVIDIA looks great. Tech is probably going to rally tomorrow morning into like the pre-market before the open. But just know, in my humble opinion, today's rally was more about yields coming down versus everyone anticipating the NVIDIA earnings after earnings or after the market closed. Let's just jump right in. I know I usually start with breadth. I just wanted to cover NVIDIA real quick because it's so important. When I look at breadth today, we had only 96 new highs and 228 new lows. So that's still bearish, right? So under the covers, you still have deteriorating conditions for individual shares. We have more losers than winners today, despite the Dow being up 184 points, despite the NASDAQ being up 1.6%, despite the S&P being up 1.1%. A lot of this is driven by the Magnificent Seven, so just keep note of that. When I take a look at the overall groups and how they did, pretty much everything today was green. So the biggest winner sectors were telecom and technology, real estate obvious since yields are coming down. The banks recovered somewhat, but the banks still look very bad despite a green sector day. I posted on Substack Notes some charts of big financial companies like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Ally Financial, Capital One Financial, Citi. They all are under the 50-day and they look really bad. So keep a watch on not only the big banks through like XLF, look at JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, but also look at the regional banks like KRE, KBE index. That's something to watch out for. But everything was green today in sectors. So very bullish day. Nothing anyone can say about that. But I think the reason why it was bullish, that's where I think the sell side is selling everyone a story here on why it was such a green day. Let's see. I also saw something on social media about a cup and handle before even lunchtime. It was, I think it's a very weak cup and handle. I don't really think it's a real cup and handle. But when you take a look at the ES intraday chart, like, a 2 hour, 1 hour, 4 hour chart of the ES starting in like August 15th, you can say kind of carved out a little cup and handle formation. And if you're basically going to validate that cup and handle, say it's a real cup and handle, which I'm still not 100% there yet. But if it is, the measured move on that cup and handle, since we broke above the top of the cup at around 4444, would be 4538 on the ES. Repeat, 4,538 on the ES. So that is roughly 100 ES points from where we closed today. So let's see if that's a real valid cup and handle here. We're coming up against a lot of resistance above us. Now, we have the 4,500 level as the next stop. So who knows? Maybe we'll get to 4538. But that's a level to watch out for on the ES. When you are kind of looking at what to watch, right? Like, so you have tomorrow the start of Jackson Hole, and there are going to be other Fed speakers that start to be interviewed tomorrow, starting around 10 a.m. New York Eastern Time. And you also have tomorrow in the morning initial jobless claims, durable good orders, as well as durable goods minus transportation coming out. And then on Friday, you have the University of Michigan consumer sentiment coming out before Jerome Powell. I believe what happens on Friday is going to be the truth teller of this week. How we close out on Friday, I think, will be the indication of if we're going to try to rally back up to previous highs or even the 50-day moving averages, and kind of wash away some of the selling that we've seen in the past few weeks. So we need more cards coming out of the deck. Hope you had a good day. I'll see you guys on the next podcast. Let's see how the market opens on Thursday, right? And let's see if this NVIDIA rally is going to lift all boats, or if it's already priced in the news and they sell the news on Thursday and Friday. I'm not sure which way it's going to go. I'm still saying watch yields. 1 day of yields falling is good for bulls, but we don't know if that is going to continue, right? If yields are going to continue to fall, or if they're going to just remain sticky here at 4.1 to 4.5%. For multiple months, maybe even multiple years, who knows? But I think yields are super important. Watch bonds, watch TLT, watch TBT, and let's watch tech. Let's see how far NVIDIA can pull up everyone else. With that, have a great one. I'll talk to you on the next podcast. And thank you again for subscribing. The Substack is nyugrad.substack.com. Thank you.